Hey everyone, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to share the speaker portion of our Connections Over Coffee gathering of the On Purpose Woman Global Community. Mary Perry is speaking on Discover Your Angel Mentors. Reverend Mary Perry, Chief Angelic Officer of Wings Unfurled, brings her angel wisdom to you through readings, healings, and meditations. Her purpose is to help others have angel interactions so that these beautiful beings of light can help you in your life. And I'm going to have Mary's information is in the text for her website. So Mary, thank you for being here today. And whenever you're ready, just get started.
I'm ready. I'm so happy to be here. This really is my first time speaking with the group other than the 5-minute featured members. So I was excited about this today. When I was asked what I would talk about, I immediately went to my angels because that's what I'm all about. The angels came into my life in 1996 or thereabouts, and I hear them. And they took me through some really tough times. And last year, I held up that book that a minute ago when we took a picture, but The Ancestors Within. My chapter is called Angel Mentors, Finding Connection Through Inspiration, Healing, and Love. And that's what they did for me. That's what they can do for all of you. And so the word mentors really fascinated me because, as we go through our lives at different times, we have people who step in. They're here to guide us. They're here for help in different ways. I always loved having that guidance and that love in my life, and maybe giving me ideas, not so much telling me what to do, but maybe giving me thoughts of ways to do things differently than what I was currently struggling with. All of us probably have had those mentors in our lives at different times. Coaching, a lot of us do coaching work, even if we don't call ourselves coaches. It's what we do. Excuse me. So, I thought I used to I call my angels the elders of light. And that includes my angels. It includes ascended masters and people who've passed on prior to me. They all come in to help me. But the angels are my main focus and my mainstay in my team. And I love the word angel mentors because, they want to help us. I asked you all in the breakout rooms the question, what would you ask your angel mentors for? How could they help you, either business or personal? A lot of times we don't ask for that help often enough. And so by developing perhaps a relationship with your angel mentors, you can find that help to get you out of the stuck places that you might find yourself in, right? We all get those sometimes. You might find a way to maybe get some clarity about next steps for your business or where you're going in your personal life. You may have some questions answered if you do the connections. And to connect, you know what? I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm not special. I'm just like all of you in that I was living my life very ordinarily when the angels stepped in. And it was after my dad died. And a year after he died, I talked to him on the telephone, which really kind of opened my eyes. That was not a normal thing in my life at that point. Now, it's not so much. I kind of get it, right? But, so as I, started to work with these beautiful beings of light, and they are amazing, and they all bring us different energies and different ways to get unstuck. And I think it was interesting because we've talked a lot today about self-care. And sometimes we get stuck. Even today, I still get stuck. And yet I have to take a step back, refocus my energies and go, what tools do I have? I have a lot of tools, just like all of you ladies have tools as well. And so the angel mentors is they hold your toolbox. They absolutely bring you what you need when you need it, if you ask for it. Now, sometimes when we ask, it doesn't come immediately. It may come in what I call divine timing, which means you're not quite ready to be there and do what you really wanted and put out there to them. They need to give you a little more time, and that's okay. Just have faith that it's going to come. When I started doing this work at first, I didn't trust. I didn't trust what I heard or saw or felt. I didn't get it. And trust was a huge lesson for me over the course of time. Trusting in my messages, trusting in the intuitive hits that I got, because they're important. And the angels want us to know that there's no right timing. We don't all have to be in the same place at the same time. You just have to trust the process. So, how did I get there? For me, it was about meditation. Meditation was the huge way to connect with spirit and angels. I meditated every day for at least 45 minutes, probably, if not longer. And I sometimes did it twice a day, once before I went off to my corporate job, once when I came home. Ginny, I got your tickle. But through meditation, it's amazing where you can go. It's amazing the information you can get. And it's really cool about the connection. I don't need to sit and meditate for 45 minutes any longer. I connect very quickly these days to the angels, but that's after years of taking that time, setting a sacred space. I'm in my office right now. You can see there's an angel behind me. There's angels all over my office. And this sacred space is where I meditate. The chair that I'm sitting in, I've meditated for the past 22 years in this chair. And I've built energy by doing that. All of this we're talking about is energetic. We are all beings of energy, so are the angels. And if we put out our energy in a right vibration, they can connect to us very easily. Just saying. You don't have to be quote unquote special, be clairvoyant, claircognizance, clairsentient, or clairaudient. You probably already are, but you're not recognizing it as that. For me, I was clairaudient and I heard the angels from the time I was a little girl. I also saw them when I was little, and I shut that down because it scared the chickens out of me. Woo. But the hearing, I kept hearing, and I didn't understand that it wasn't my voice inside my head, that it was angels speaking to me. So over the years, we've developed this relationship because you know what? The angel mentors, if you want them in your life in bigger ways, you have to develop a relationship with them, just like you would with your best friend, your husband, your children. It's all about relationships. Relationships need nurturing. They need that care. They need to feel that nourishment to increase what it is that you want from them. The second part to bringing them in is journaling, because sometimes we forget to ask, but when we journal, they also hear those words that we write. So for me, journaling was a huge piece of getting to where I am today. And I would sit and not journal, oh, dear diary, this happened today, right? I would journal to God. Dear God, this is what I'm going through. What am I missing? How can I find help? Is there something that I'm not hearing, seeing, or knowing? And sure enough, it may not happen in that meditation session or right then, but in the next day or two, my answers come. So can yours. But you have to pay attention. You have to get into a little bit of stillness so that as you travel through life and that busy, somebody talked about having that wheel that they just keep going through the motions and going, why am I not getting anywhere? Because that head is not turning off and you're not getting into stillness enough to allow the angels to come in. It's really about allowing them some time to interact with you, to interact with your thoughts, to interact with all that you do. It's really important to develop this relationship. In the car, when I'm driving by myself, I love music, but I don't normally listen to it anymore. I talk to my guides. I turn off the car and I talk out loud, just like I'm talking to you here. I look like a nut going down the road because my mouth is moving and there's nobody in the car. But I talk to my guides. I ask them their questions. I ask to hear what they want to tell me back if I can hear anything at that moment. Um, Meditation doesn't have to be what you think of as normal meditation. Sitting quietly, that's and you can do it that way for sure. What I didn't understand when I started with meditation was that meditation is, I thought it was about clearing your mind. Let me tell you, my mind is never clear. There's always a list. There's always the next things to do. There's the next event coming. Whatever that is, it's always there. It's about focusing on something outside of those thoughts. So if I'm really doing, a meditation where I'm silent, I bubble those thoughts and let them go up into the ethers so that I put them in a balloon so I can pull them back down when I need them. I don't have to think about it then. And I go back to my heart. I concentrate on my breathing and I allow that stillness to come. However, that's a great way to do meditation. In the 80s, before I really started with the angels, I meditated all the time and I did not know it. I painted. I did toll and decorative painting and I did craft shows. I was an entrepreneur from way back when. However, when I painted, I completely lost all the stuff that was going on in my life. My marriage was, not where I wanted it to be. And so when I was painting, there was nothing else going on. I would go for hours and not think about my life. So doing something creative is a perfect way to do some meditation. Exercising, perfect way, because you're focusing on whatever it is you're doing, whether it's walking, running, working out. You're not focusing on the rest of the world and all the stuff that goes on in your life. Walking is the perfect way to do meditation. Going out in nature. Yes, it's been so lovely here in Maryland this weekend. It was great. And we sat out back on our deck, which is on the water, and just quietly absorbed Mother Nature, all the animals. We had a turtle that would come to visit us out in the water outside and sit there for a while and then go back in the water. I love that. That's a way to meditate. That's a way to connect. And then the other big part of finding your angel mentors and living your life a little bit more enriched and enlightened, because really that's discovering your angel mentors. That's what it can lead you to. Feeling empowered, feeling like, oh man, this life is blessed. And, moving forward in ways for you, that is what your heart wants, that your desires come. It's not like you have to push them and pull and just work it really hard. They just happen organically. And so, doing all of those things where you can increase the relationship with your angel mentors helps you get to that place. It's an amazing journey. It is absolutely incredible. And I know for me, during the years that I've been doing this, the things that have happened that were really huge in my life, and there have been some really big things, meeting my partner, finding Mystical Voyage, which was a long time ago, but where I started doing angel readings, that all happened very angely. There is no other word to put it, because I didn't maneuver any of those happenings, yet I ended up there. And I listened when it happened. I was like, oh, okay. So much so that the day I was in Mystical Voyage, that was a metaphysical store here in Maryland, and I was shopping. That's all I was doing. I like to shop. Come on, let's shop, right? It was all my kind of stuff, cards, books, oh, crystals. Yeah, let's shop. I heard somebody ask the owner if they were going to do readings, and she said, yeah, I've been thinking about that. I'm working on it. And my angels literally felt like they were pushing my back to go to the counter and say to her, I do angel readings. And I did. And when I walked out of there, she hadn't said yes exactly that day. But when I walked out of there, I knew I was going to do readings there. And I did readings for, I think, the entire time they were open until from 2004 to 2010. And other classes and Reiki and energy work. And so, that's when big stuff happens if I listen. But I have to listen. I have that choice to say, oh, that can't be right. So it's pulling up that trust, knowing what your intention is when you ask for the things that you desire, and understanding that if you trust enough, it's coming. And if it's right for you. Sometimes, so I might say to my angels today, you know what? I want to go out and I want to just, drive a motorcycle. Let me tell you, that ain't right for me. I know that sitting here, but if I say that and they know that, that's never going to happen, and that's okay, because I ask for their guidance and their protection. That's part of what I ask for every day. When I wake up every day, I welcome the angels who are with me. And they change. I have some that are there all the time, but they change. Very often they change. It depends on what I need for that day's energy and what I'm putting out. So, how do you discover your angel mentors? Do you all meditate? Can I see hands? Do people have trouble meditating? Can I see hands? So, guided meditations really help us connect to the angels. One of the things the angels have me doing currently to work with clients or anybody is an angel inspiration circle. It's a Zoom circle where I record like this once a week on Tuesdays from 2 to 3. And I record it, I send it to you after, you can come live to the meditation, but I also record it and send it to you so you have it afterwards to listen to. And the angels want us to find inspiration right now. They want us to get out of some of the fear-based stuff that's been coming at us for the past couple of years on every aspect of our lives. They want us to find inspiration, hope, love, peace, and joy. That's what we're here for. The more that we anchor into that energy and ask your mentors to help you do that, the more our world will begin to change. And so I'm doing that Zoom circle on a monthly basis. It's about an hour, and it's $97 for the month, and I'll put that in the chat. And I never know where we're going to go because it's channeled. My partner Will comes, and he says, "Where are we going today?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because it depends on the people that are there. It depends on the inspiration that we all need. They go and they check in with everybody's energy. My angels talk to your angels. I love that. I don't have to do that piece. That's easy, And so, they tailor that meditation to be what it is that the group needs. So that's pretty cool. So the angel mentor piece, let me go back to that for a little bit more. Like I said, I wrote the book. I talked about how I met my angel mentors, which, was the conversation with my dad and bringing them in a bigger way. And I created, somebody had asked me to do some classes. So I did that, and it went really well. There were 4 classes. And then, but more than that, what I want to do, and I'm in the process of working on that right now, it'll be coming out hopefully in July, is to almost do, not sure how long, but I'm thinking at least 6-month program with someone individually to really work on meeting your angel mentors. So it'd probably be twice a month. Like I've said, I haven't completely finished it yet, but I really want to help people find the way to connect in a deeper way. Now, maybe you're already connected, Lily, you got this. But some of us may need help, in knowing who the angels are that are with us, having the connection to meditation and just really starting to develop themselves. Perhaps they might read cards or use oracle cards to help get messages. Perfectly amazing way to connect with your angel friends. So, yeah, so anyway, that's coming hopefully in July. I will be able to put that out. Um, the angel mentors they're talking to me right now, and they're just saying that so many of us need this help and this guidance, and how different our world could be if we put out the energy and the love and the peace that they help us anchor in. It's not just us saying, oh, I am all about love, let me tell you. But it's not just anchoring my love out into the world. They feed that and increase that. And then as I embrace that love and let that out, oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm leading a really miraculous life. And I truly recognize that. And the last piece I want to leave you with today is the gratitude piece. Because none of this life that we have and none of the good things that come need to be taken for granted. Even the angels help, your angel mentors. While they don't want you to thank them and all of that, you need to be grateful that you have that connection. You need to be grateful to hear that message. The signs and the messages from them can come in so many ways. It can be a ladybug, that's flying around your outside. It can be a feather that you find on the porch, which didn't make any sense. It could be a coin that you find. It could be numbers that you see. It could be songs on the radio if you listen. There are amazing ways to get your messages. It's not just that you have to hear, you have to see, you have to know, or you have to feel. I would bet that almost all of us on this call are what I would call empathic. And so there are many times things come to you and you may walk in a room and go, oh, this is not good. I need to get out of here. Sometimes you might listen and other times you might not. And it's those times when you don't that things usually go haywire. Okay. Been there, done that, have the t-shirt, and now I listen more. If it's not right for me, it's not right for me. And so it's really important as you develop your relationship with these beautiful beings of light to really know what you're feeling. And that's part of what the program that I'm going to create will work with. What you're feeling, what you're seeing. Some of you may be clairvoyant. When I first started doing this work, I was like, oh, I want to be clairvoyant. And then all of a sudden something will pop in and I go, oh, maybe I don't want to be clairvoyant. So I get mixed messages with that, right? But what I find is that either by feeling something, a picture creates, or as I hear something, a picture creates. So I guess I will say I am a little clairvoyant, but it's not my total strength. The clairaudience is mine, and the clairsentience, because I feel. The last corporate job I worked was in 2013, and I was in a little office with this woman. It was not good. I would go in this office, and by 9 o'clock after she showed up, I'd be in tears. Her energy affected mine so desperately. And they let me go. They let me go in July of that year, which was a true blessing because I would not have made it much longer with this woman in my office. And, I figured that was a sign for me to do this work full time. So I've been doing this full time since then. And so as you listen to those signs, it's really important. And even if you're not connecting to your angels, there's somebody looking out for you. You know, you all know that, right? Yeah. We all have those guides, you know, whether they're loved ones in spirit, and absolutely they look out for us as well. But I believe you can amp up your system and your support with these angel mentors, just saying. You know, if you want any more information about all that, please contact me. Or if you know somebody that that might be a fit for, send them to me. I do something advertised in the magazine, as Jenny said, and I believe this ad was an angelic care call, which if you're thinking about working with me and you're not really sure, let's connect, have a 20-minute complimentary call and see if there's any kind of fit there. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. You know, when I first started this work, I was a little bit concerned about, you know, too many people doing this. What I've come to know over the years is we all bring our uniqueness and our love and our gifts to the world. I am not a fit for everybody, and that's okay. And the ones that I am a fit for really works well. I've got a few people that I've been working individually with for a couple years, and the thing that I love the most is they will tell me after they have some triggers maybe going off from like things that have come up in the past, and they'll say to me when we meet up, "Well, I heard your voice in my head, and I knew I could make different choices." That's not my voice. It may sound like my voice, but that's the angel's words. That is not me. And I know that I'm doing the right work when I hear that, because I know that who I'm helping is who I'm supposed to help. And I love that. And then in addition to helping me, you know, life is grand. I've really had some amazing things happen, and I am so grateful for that. I want everybody to feel that kind of miraculous life, and the angel mentors can help you do that. So I don't know if I have anything else, Jenny. I think we're about at a couple minutes, but
Yes, I'm going to wrap this up on the call, on the live, and then we'll take some questions. We have a few more minutes, but thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for sharing such beautiful wisdom. And I want everybody to unmute yourself for a minute so we can all clap for Mary so she can hear our applause. And the angels don't have to hear it because they hear it regardless, right? I think
that's right.
But I want to also thank anyone who's watching us live or on the replay. If you'd like to join us for one of our 11 free Zoom gatherings a month or an in-person in Richmond, Virginia or Charlottesville, Virginia, comment below and I'll tell you how to do that. You can also go to www.opwgc.com, and it's also going to be in the text below, and find out all about our community. Thanks for watching.